Kaylee.
Jezuz, what's up, dude?
Yeah, it looks like I missed your call earlier.
Oh, it's okay. I know you're probably doing Sunday fun day stuff, yeah?
Yeah, we were at the laundromat, and I was either at the market or at the laundromat. We do that every Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah,
How's
what's
that
up?
all how's that going? Since I last saw you, are you guys doing okay?
Yeah, yeah. Same. Just doing our thing we do here on the Big Island. Just what? Just same as Yeah,
Dude, I
life in Cinderland.
I had such a good time just driving around with you guys and just kind of being a part of that lifestyle again for the day. It was so good for my spirit and refreshing. I think that you really have something special with how you live your life in a lot of ways.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been like that since you lived here.
Yeah, nothing changed.
Uh-uh.
for,
It's
for,
just it's the Lower Puna vibe.
yeah, which
It's
is
just how it is here.
which is honestly what makes it so special. So
Yeah.
I realized there was a couple like really quick small questions I wanted to ask you. Would you
Yeah.
be okay with just answering just a couple really quick questions?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll answer.
This is really basic, but for the intro, I just wanted to kind of hear your opinion of like what is Cinderland in your words.
Clusterfuck.
Cinderland is a clusterfuck with an amazing, probably the most amazing fruit forest that anyone has ever grown.
Yeah. Like, it's so nice to walk around and
It's
food falling from the
amazing.
trees.
I mean, it's so abundant. The trees are giving so much. But without without the clusterfuck and the campsites that we build everywhere, that wouldn't have happened. That only happened because there was people that were living in these clusterfucks.
Okay. I asked you what your greatest achievement was there at Cinderland, and you said the land. And
Yeah.
and I wanted to follow up and kind of ask you about like what about the community that you've kind of created and all the homes that you've
The
given to
community?
people. Yeah, like do you see that as an achievement?
Um, no, I see that as a failure. But I see the land as an achievement. No, I failed. As far as the community goes, the problem with what we have built at Cinderland is that we built it at a time when we didn't know how to build. And so I walk around going, "Oh my fucking god, what have we done?" Because now I'm such a better builder. I like the new things we're building. They're really well.
Okay.
But I walk around and I see mistakes and I see things that I got to fix. So I'm kind of overwhelmed because I see 20 years of repairs I got to do. I built. You know what? Cinderland would be awesome, amazing if it was either a retreat center. If people didn't live here.
Having what did you tell me? An intentional community is very difficult.
It's difficult
It's
because
very difficult.
you got to have rules and you got
So
to
at least
really.
if they're visitors, they can abide by the rules.
Yeah, they're
of
just
the
coming
visitor.
and going. The thing is, I created an unintentional, unconscious community.
So Cinderland is
I-
basically an unintentional unconscious community.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's an unintentional, unconscious community that
Totally.
grew a fabulous fruit forest.
And you've unintentionally helped a lot of people out.
Yeah, a lot of unconscious people have been helped immensely.
What was your original vision with Cinderland? Like when you first started it, what did you think it was going to be?
Well, I was hoping that it would attract conscious people like me, people who reduce, reuse, recycle, people who eat organic whole foods, and people who don't that wanna get off of the fossil fuels. And instead, I attracted the opposite.
Drug addicts that don't want it, that want cheap rent.
Yeah, people who just
The drug addicts that want cheap rent. We have to be honest.
substance abuse. They're not really fucking. They're not eating organic foods, and they're just like partying. Just being unconscious.
Yeah.
So what would you do? What would you do differently then? Like if you were to do it all over again, do Cinderland from ground up?
I would have to be a Nazi.
No.
And just patrol and make sure that if we catch anybody, abusing drugs, or if we catch anybody abusing alcohol, if we catch anyone not eating organic whole foods, they're fucking out.
Wow.
But I would have to be like on it. Like I would have to be cop 24/7.
So if you were to do it all over again, you would basically have like a no drugs or alcohol,
or commercial foods, or even fossil fuels. Like you're not coming in here with that gasoline car. You're not burning any propane. I mean, I have to live by those rules. That means that I can't not eat. What do you call it? Commercial food.
Or anything shipped in, for that matter, because that's also
anything shipped in because of the carbon footprint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's like the most unexpected thing that has happened at Cinderland that you couldn't have imagined it happening? Like, what are some things, like how has Cinderland taken on a life of its own in ways that you couldn't even imagine?
I'm just always gonna go back to this this forest that grew around us, and I guess I couldn't imagine that I was going to have food, safety first, food, water, shelter. What is it? Food? No, water.
Water.
I just never imagined that I could have safety first, water, food, shelter, and clothing for 60 people, 50. Cinderland can sustain 50 people right now with safety first, and then water, food, shelter, and clothing. We have a magic closet that has a surplus of.
It's magical. I've seen.
Of clothing.
And
we actually gotta like take out clothing out of there and donate it ourselves.
So you couldn't have imagined basically that you would be
able to sustain that this place could sustain so many people. 50.
Wow.
All year round too. This is food and shelter and water and safety and clothing and all that all throughout the entire year for a population of about 50 people. The forest is just established. Well, forests have many dangers. Fires. We don't have to worry about floods here. Lava flows. But the most dangerous are humans, when they're chainsaws and they're bulldozers. They can wipe it out if they wanted to plant, an orchard here.
Yeah, they could plant GMO papayas in place of the food forest.
If they did commercial on this land, whoa, this land would be unbelievably profitable, and profitable is what it would be. You would have
Cinderland into
modified. I know, but I mean, someone could end up buying it and doing it to it. I mean, all I'm saying is that.
No, you said you're going to own it until the lava takes it.
Well, I would like to leave. No, I want to leave it to Nandi. Hope to serve.
To keep it in. You have to keep it in your blood until the lava takes it.
Well, yeah, that's what happens.
This one's got to go into your blood until lava takes it, because you can't let GMO have it ever.
Yeah, I might have to leave the land in a trust, but then again, or I would have to make sure that it's sold to the kind of person who's going to preserve it.
Mm-hmm. I have I have one last question for you
Yeah.
about the land and Cinderland stuff.
The legacy. Yeah.
Um, do you feel like this has been one of your life missions, and do you feel like you fulfilled your purpose on this planet by creating Cinderland?
Nope. Not until I get Cinderland off of fossil fuels. Not until I achieve my dream of having an intentional community. The intent is to get off of fossil fuels or die trying. That's my intent. This is when you're done. You're just not allowing anything that hasn't been reduced, reused, or recycled. When you're not just allowing anybody to burn any fossil fuels in here, and when you're just not allowing any commercial food.
So you don't feel like you still feel like you have a long way to go. Like you haven't fulfilled your life mission until you're fully sustainable.
I'm halfway there. I realized I took on a project that was going to take me 40 years, but I'm 23 years into it. This is going to be my 23rd year.
Wow.
It's a 2-generation project that I took on. 40 years, 2 generations. One generation built it. Generation, the millennials built Cinderland. And it's Gen Z, my son's generation, that's going to have to finish it and get off of fossil fuels or die trying. Because your generation, not your generation, you're a millennial. You're the generation that built Cinderland. It's my grandkids. It's your kids. Gen double Z. I mean Z. Gen Z.
Oh. I like how
now
you
that's the generation that's here now. That's the one that's helping me. It's Gen Z that's gonna get us off of fossil fuels. Us and the rest of the planet. They're the young. They're the kids in their early 20s right now. So they're the ones who are inventing the future. That's what Gen Z's doing. They're right now working hard, inventing the future, imagining a different future, just like every generation does, right? Every generation comes in and imagines a better future than the one that their parents created. So the millennials are recreating the world that the baby boomers made, right? And now Gen Z even wants a more clean and sustainable planet. No, is that a seed? That could be a seed. Yeah, that's a seed, isn't it? The edible, I say. No, I'm putting that in the milk carton. Anyways, it's a 2-generation project. I'm halfway through it, a little bit more than halfway now. I got like 17 years left, and then we'll be off of fossil fuels, or we're gonna die trying.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, and just being real with yourself of where you're at and like what you need to do to move forward.
I gotta make goals that I believe I can attain, because I can't fool my subconscious. My subconscious only makes what I truly believe can happen, and honestly, I believe I can do it in 2 generations. So it's doable. I believe in me, and because I believe in me, other people believe in me, because I've set a goal that is attainable.
That's beautiful, Jesus.
Right, and I have to think in general. I got to think about the grandkids, and the kind of planet that I want to leave them behind, and the planet that I want to leave to the grandkids is a planet that is no longer dependent on fossil fuels.
Wow.
We're actually, we need to just stop burning. We're supposed to be doing the opposite. We're supposed to be mining the atmosphere right now for the fucking carbon we put in the atmosphere for the last 200 years. We need that carbon, because you know what these carbon sequestering machines do? They carbonize it, and then we can take that carbon and add it back into the soils where they came from to be able to feed a population of 10 billion. Because in another generation, we reach 10 billion. One more generation, and we're at 10 billion. Right now, we're at 8 billion. And we're still burning. The amount of carbon dioxide that's going to the atmosphere is only increasing. It's not like we're even decreasing yet. We haven't even started decreasing. I mean, we're slowing down the amount that we're putting. Are we? No, we're fucking not. Every year we break the record in this is the year where we release the most amount of carbon dioxide in any given year in the last 200 years. Every single year it breaks that record. So we're not even and it's going to keep going until you just stop using it for fuel, you know. Because we're using it for fuel. To fuel our entire economy. It's a carbon-based economy, and that's just wrecking the entire biosphere. It's changing the climate. It's changing a climate that has favored the evolution of our species. Like, I mean, this is like about the same. I mean, it used to be we at 280 parts per million for over 2 million. For millions of years, we've had 280 parts per million of carbon dioxide. That's the entire evolution of our species. That's what made our species be able to evolve intelligence.
And we kind of want to keep that going, right?
Well, it's ideal for agriculture because it's a very mild climate. It's not extreme. You don't got extreme weather. You're not getting the extreme. When the planet starts heating up like it is now, we're at 420 parts or maybe 30 by now. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
15 million years ago, we have the climate that we used to have 15 million years ago when it was Planet of the Apes. When every single continent in the planet had apes, and there was no ice anywhere. There was a little bit of ice in the very, very, very top of the North Pole and the very, very top of the South Pole, and that was it. But the weather was extreme, bro. There was floods, torrential floods, and torrential rains, and torrential fucking hurricanes and everything. Not very suitable for agriculture and for intelligence too, to be able to develop, you know. That only happened when that massive amount of forests that ended up covering the entire fucking planet sucked up so much carbon out of the atmosphere that it tilted the planet into an ice age and cooled. And then when it thawed out again after millions of years.
Do you think everyone should have their own food forest, or like
Yeah, because everyone should be taking all that carbon that's creating all this extreme weather, climate change that isn't really too helpful for us growing food or making the planet habitable. Yeah, that all has to come out, and the best way to take it out is, number one, stop fucking putting it into the atmosphere. Number two, plant trees. And then sit back and enjoy the weather, because every single year after the year that you do that, the weather's going to get better. And then fuck that. Even go beyond that. We have the technology, and just start sucking that carbon out of the atmosphere and turning it into charcoal, and then using it to grow more fruit forests. Like, we gotta get primal again, you know, and like live in the fucking trees. You know, let the trees get to be giant monsters, gorgeous trees, and live in tree houses.
So wait, so Cinderland to you is a clusterfuck. That's how you would describe Cinderland?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a clusterfuck that I have to uncluster.
But like what? But what? Like, let's say I didn't know anything about.
It's a clusterfuck of 20 years of mistakes that I've made.
But it's not a permaculture farm. It's not an eco village. It's not anything.
This one, the forest is. Forest is.
Okay. All right. No, so like, so if I was a visitor,
far from being sustainable.
if I was a visitor, or like I didn't know anything.
The land gets an A, and the inhabitants get an F.
Okay, so like, what if I didn't know anything about like what Cinderland is? That's how you would describe it. Is it's a clusterfuck of 20 years of mistakes?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the most under the most amazing fruit forest that it grew.
Okay. I think you've helped more people than you probably realize by having Cinderland and giving many people a home, and I think you've probably done a lot more than you think. So
yeah, I just think that I enabled a lot of people to abuse their bodies.
That's probably true too, but you know, there's always diamonds in the rough.
It's not my, you know, I mean, oops, I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. That's all I can say. Oops, I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me.
Well, Jezuz, I'm gonna have to let you go in just a minute, dude. Thank you so much for always being so generous to me and kind and supportive, and I really honor you, Jezuz, and I love you as a brother, and I just had the best time just seeing you for the brief time that I was over there, and I will definitely come back over again soon. So just thank you so much, bro.
You know what? I just want to give thanks. Thanks! That's all.
Well, I love you so much, Jezuz. I really appreciate you, and I do just have to go back to work right now.
I'm keeping all the propane here because hold on one second. Keeping all the propane here because I don't want the people in the private camps to keep taking it from us. It's just getting. Yeah. Two full tanks in there. That's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I mean. So, right? I mean, it's already expensive enough to keep the private places going. I mean, the public places going.
Jezuz, thank you so much for your time, bro.
Yeah, Katie, yeah. Thanks for calling.
No, thank you for picking up, and thank you for calling me back. I really appreciate it.
No problem.